is Joy News Prime.
This is indeed Joy News Prime, and my name is Israelite. Coming up, betting company accused of refusing to pay the wins of its patrons blames the hacking of its system for the confusion in betting odds. New Patriotic Party kicks off 2016 election campaign here in Accra with a call on Ghanaians to examine their living conditions and vote for change.
And in business, Cocoa Board says unrest between labor unions and management will not impact on cocoa production levels. Meanwhile, leadership of ICU and GAU insists the company's chief executive must go.
So the business news will be here, or Emmanuel will be here in the next 30 minutes with the business news. But thank you for making time. My name is Israel Lion. Joy News Prime is available across Europe on ABN television. Stay tuned. Now, the 2016 campaign of the opposition New Patriotic Party finally got underway on Friday with a call by the party's flag bearer on Ghanaians to examine their living conditions and vote for change. Nana Akufo-Addo kicked off what he describes as a focused campaign at Ablekuma Central in the Greater Accra region. The unannounced tour saw Nana Addo interacting with people at Abosokai, Zongo, as well as spare parts dealers. Elton Brobe, with our political desk, was with the campaign trail and joins me in the studio. Good evening to you, Elton. Now, we didn't quite see this coming, did we?
Yeah, we got a call around 2 p.m. Asking us to assemble at Nana Addo's residence. When we got there, we were told that Nana Addo was going to undertake an unannounced visit. So when we got to the Abosokai Zone, we were told that officially he was starting the campaign for the 2016 general elections. And, you know, the people, saw him. They didn't know he was coming. So first was the Abosokai Zongo, where he spoke to the people. Actually went to some people, their rooms, actually met an 85-year-old woman, assured her of the Zongo Development Fund, which when implemented will help address some of the concerns in the Zongo community. Also refuted allegations that under an MPP administration, people from the Northern Extraction will be driven away to their hometown. So people were excited seeing Nana Addo in their homes, on the streets of Abosokai and Zongo, and that's how it started this afternoon.
So essentially he's going to people's homes.
Exactly. He's describing this as a focused campaign. You are not going to see the mammoth rally that we've been used to in the past, according to the NPP for now. What they intend doing is that they've identified some groups, they will go to them, sell to them their message, and they hope that they will vote for the NPP in the 2016 election. Nana Akufo-Addo, for instance, said that he's been on this, road 3 times. This will be his 3rd attempt at getting to the Jubilee House, as he wants to call it. So he's asking the people that this time they should try him and give him the opportunity to govern.
All right, so we'll come back, we'll come and talk a lot more about the campaign itself and how they're describing this campaign. But we know that he was at the Abosokai Spare Parts Hub, which is, quite, the MPP is quite popular in that area. What was it that the spare parts, the Nana Addo tell the spare parts dealers?
First, they have formed this MPP volunteers for the 2016 elections. And this is being spearheaded by the Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association. Now, first, they told Nana Addo that they have so many issues. First, has to deal with the high import duty. According to during the MPP administration, they used to pay around 6,000 and 8,000 for a 20-foot of container of spare parts. Now, they are paying between 60 and 80,000, sometimes 150,000 Ghana cedis. They see this as, a demotivating factor for their business. Nana Addo is assuring that he will work towards this.
Right, let's hear them now.
MPP Volunteers Association of Abosokai. There's a group in 2012 almost supporting Empire in Ablekuma Central constituency. And I just ended the registration exercise. This group contributes immensely for the registration exercise. In fact, as a party, we can't move around for our campaign and our rounds. We have a broken pickup. They have put it on the road for us that we are using. And now, say a Kwambia Sono, their target in Abosokai, the registered voter about 24,000 registered voters in Abosokai. they have assured us say 20,000 votes in Abosokan, they want to execute it for us. So now you are here to meet Abosokan Volunteers Association.
MPP volunteers Abosokan, as I say, you Jinamu Abosokan, say, yeah, my vote will be emphanting. It's yeah, Juma, I support PC. Na what the so ya de aye ekubebrebet me sorry na omo de an so mbetwa ese national and answer region first camera omo na omo fa nye edumadie but e hu se party no opposition onya sa sika nya dey emma nti basa na ye form isa association we say ye be pepe sika ye be yi ye hu sika kakra na sa ye fundraisings na ni apesika na ni aboa party no especially constituency we ye orphan constituency and na constituency we so ye constituency be hu hia MPP ye nti e sori gina se kwam bia ye beboa na etima gi sa constituency we abeka ye member of parliament ho no ese agi nti 2012 no really say ye no Abrikuma Central especially Abosoka ha nyina no ye na fa ho ka no ma bebe ne ye mse PC ya ne nyina bom ye de ye say ne nyina hu 2012 no ma anko yi anye de ama ye ampaba 2016 ye du so na ya sa kan ho nyina bom say ye beto aso na ya sa ye de ayedwumadi a edi ne 2012 no.
All right, so we heard one of the guys. What exactly was the guy saying? If you could just give us a quick translation.
Well, the first person was the MPP parliamentary candidate for the Ablekuma Central, Magnati. The second person is an executive of the Abosokan Spare Parts Dealers Association. Now, he's been talking about the challenges they are facing in their business, and they are asking that should the MPP come to power, the administration should do something about, reducing the import duty to ensure that they stay in business.
Right.
Now,
and what did Nanado have to say?
He had a simple message for them. If your living condition is good, don't vote for the MPP. If your living condition is worse, then vote for change in 2016. He also promised to fix the economy and ensure that it provides so many jobs for the youth of the country.
Your condition shouldn't be as it is. And for a change to happen, you must vote for Nana Akufo-Addo. This is the real issue. There are no jobs and no money. We will get a president who will provide more jobs and money if you vote for me. We will establish a Zongo Development Fund to help support people in Zongo. That will be the job of Nana Akufo-Addo. So I came to plead with you to make me president this year.
Bani mi baje akisi mi ba mama wo shika wo nkotoko emi mi ba mama tuni ahamambi.
Right, thank you very much, Elton John Brobebe, for bringing us those details. But we'll stay with the campaign of the MPP for election 2016 a while longer, because an aide to the MPP's flag bearer, Musa Superior, has been explaining the format of their electioneering campaign to Joy News.
The reason for this start in the Ablekuma Central constituency is to try and engage with the people who are in the market, who are in the Ghanaian market, because this time the whole competition is all about how we can put the economy in good shape for our country. So the campaign has officially kick-started. We're doing Greater Accra. In the next few days, we're going to be working in the Greater Accra, reaching out to Ghanaians at their homes, in their schools, etc.
What is the message? Nanado is telling the people that if you are comfortable with your standard of living, then vote for John Mahama. But if you are not, then you need to change the government for the better.
And the message is clear. Every Ghanaian is not comfortable with our living conditions. People cannot pay their children's school fees. The economy is terrible. Businesses are breaking down. The small-scale business. You are media people. I'm sure the kind of salaries you get at your workplaces, you would understand that. So Nanado is very, very clear. He wants to mobilize the Ghanaian people to support this agenda for change. He wants to mobilize us to join this agenda to ensure, to encourage the Ghanaian people to come along for the change. So the message is clear. We want people who are having challenges in whatever they do to to come along with us because there's hope in the future. We are very, very optimistic about the future. Nanado is upbeat. We want to build a standard, strong, fitful economy that can encourage everybody to be able to do well in your practices, in your businesses, in whatever you do.
The applause you received at Abosokan, for example, does it give you hope that indeed people are ready for the change you are asking them to?
It was completely unsolicited. You saw them. These were massive Ghanaian people who were seeking for change. They didn't even know.
An unannounced visit.
Unannounced. They didn't even know Nanado was there, and you saw the teeming crowd, the sweat, the noise, the call for change. You see that the Ghanaian is looking for a better leadership. A leadership that is responsible, a leadership that is honest, and a leadership that can mobilize and galvanize our talents to be able to deliver a better Ghana. This country is so chaotic, the economy is so bad, that if we do not change, I'm telling you, this country will not be there for our future children. And that is why recently there have been a serious debate about how our monies have been used. I mean, you know the Eurobond issue when Dr. Bawumia came up effectively. In fact, if Dr. Bawumia had not revealed this, this country would have lost a lot. And the places where the monies have been invested is quite surprising. As for me, some of us, we just think that it's completely unacceptable. I mean, the procurement laws of this country were not followed. So we're going out there, and Nanado is going to go out there very strongly from next week, talk to the Ghanaian people and encourage them to come along for change.
Right. So that means that from today till hopefully November 7th, you'll be touring the rest of the country.
Yeah, the campaign has kick-started. We're going to do Greater Accra, and from the Greater Accra, we're going to sit down and review the process, and then we decide which region to go. Nanado will be visiting every nook and cranny of this country to send a message. You see how fit he is. You see how strong he is. He's a man who feels that he should be connected with the grassroots people, and he will go. In Aboshokan, he was walking from stall to stall, from shop to shop, and from tables to table to communicate with the people.
Yeah, and my final question will be, will get to the point where we will organize a mammoth rally like we've been used to in the past, or it's just going to focus on the identifiable groups?
We are not really going to have this flamboyant campaign. This campaign we are having is being led by Nanado and supported by Dr. Bawumia, and you know Dr. Bawumia is all over the country. Now I can assure you that as I speak to you now, he's the most traveled politician in this country. And you heard as we've been traveling around the country. Today, Nanado is out there telling Ghanaians that yes, today I am officially telling you that I am coming to your school, I'm coming to your doorstep, I'm coming to the market. Wherever you live, I am coming there, and I'm coming to deliver to you a product that you would accept in faith, in good faith, and a product that would deliver change for your life.
You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with more. Please don't go away. Now, the same interaction with journalists, the Chief of Defense Staff vowed the armed forces intends to deal firmly with any individual or group which attempts to cause violence during the 2016 elections. Air Vice Marshal Samson Oje also expressed concern about what he says is a rising political tension ahead of the elections, citing incidents during the limited registration exercise.
Our actions be geared towards the execution of yet another peaceful election to the admiration of the whole continent and the world at large. We as a country have been noted for peaceful elections, even when the winning margins are very, very small. This is therefore not the time to give up that title. So let us close ranks and make the whole world proud of us once again. It is easy to feel the political temperature gradually rising as we move towards November 2016. The various incidents connected to the limited voter registration are enough attestation of this fact. Please do not add fuel to the political environment by the nature of your reportage. That said, let me emphasize that the Ghana Armed Forces has a duty to protect the territorial integrity and also ensure internal peace and security of the nation. The Ghana Armed Forces and our allied security agencies will continue to play their neutral role and non-partisan role in support of the upcoming elections. We and the security services are ready to collaborate with the press and to ensure peaceful elections. Let me assure you that the Ghana Armed Forces and the other security agencies and services are ready to hold the country together at all costs. This is what we are trained for and paid for. Therefore, let me use this occasion to caution anyone who seeks to use these elections to undermine the peace, stability, and integrity of the country, that the security agencies cannot and will not sit by and allow anyone to disrupt the peace that we have all toiled for all the years and continue to enjoy today. We use every means available to us at our disposal to safeguard the peace of this country.
Inspector General of Police John Kudalo, who was also present at the interaction, assured there is a well-thought-through plan to ensure a violent-free poll.
What I want to assure Ghanaians is that come 7th November 2016, we are going to put up all the necessary measures to ensure that all police stations will be covered. And as you rightly said, in this enterprise, we need more boots on the ground, which in our balance means that more men on the ground. We started with our recruitment exercise. We are going to free a lot of officers from the offices who are not on the essential or core police duties, be thrown onto the streets. And since our numbers are not enough, we shall, as usual, call on our friends or brothers from the other security agencies. We've sent our request for them and the quota that we shall need from them. All these mechanisms have been set in place since January. So come November, all these police stations will be covered. And it's going to be done in a special plan or program or strategy, which we call the 3-tier deployment plan. We don't need guns at the police stations because we are not at war. We just have to create that congenial atmosphere. So that will be pure deterrent. We shall put enough policemen and security personnel there to deter the miscreants from coming to cause any commotion. We shall have patrol teams, which will be mostly police action team personnel will be going around. We shall have the outer cordon, which will mostly military men will be on standby. When the issue becomes more beyond the police, we start with the military. We have an SOP, special operation procedure. We know when to withdraw, when for them to come, restore order, go for us to come back. Everything has been done, and I assure you that that is going to work like the piston of a machine. It's going to be very well put and well orchestrated. I have had a series of meetings with the CDS. So this is not the first time we are meeting. It's met us at our management level already on 2 meetings. And I assure you that we are going to have a more fruitful cooperation because all that is did. I've been on the management committee for almost a decade. These 2 meetings with us have been what? Unprecedented.
Superbet Sports Betting is blaming the hacking of its systems by fraudsters for the abnormal recording of betting wins in Kumasi and other places. Over 30 patrons wearing red armbands on Wednesday disrupted operations at the gambling company's Atafu office over unpaid wins, which is now estimated at more than 127,000 cedis from an initial 50,000 cedis. They had threatened to set the office ablaze. Officials, however, say the company cannot be blamed for the abnormal odds published in its systems. Insura FM's Ohim Interior reports.
Police have been keeping surveillance at Superbet offices to avert possible attack on the facilities by angry winners. About 29 of them on Tuesday lodged a complaint over the incident with the Asokwa police. With a 48-hour ultimatum by the winners, which expired Thursday, some of them wore red armbands and stormed the Asafu office of Superbet to prevent workers from working. Security consultant of Superbet, Jacob Atabafuewa, says police are investigating hacking claims by company officials.
We believe the odds that the system gave them was wrong odds. So if it's wrong odds, where are we going to get money to pay them? Never. It's not going to happen. Where are we going to get the money to pay wrong odds? It's not possible because the odds that made them get that money is wrong. That's why we are saying somebody hack the system. So number one, what we're gonna do is pay them the money they use to stake the bet.
Mr. Bafwewa says Superbets cannot be held responsible for the publishing of wrong odds. He says the standoff between the company and the bettors has been referred to the Gaming Commission for arbitration.
It's a system malfunction. The customer has done nothing wrong, okay? The staff, the cashiers in the shop, they've done nothing wrong. I myself standing here, I'm working for them because I applied for work and I was given, and I'm doing my job, all right? I've done nothing wrong.
Mr. Bafwewa's comments have further infuriated bettors who say they will pursue the matter even to the courts.
Today we make sure that they were not able to work. All the bouncers, we make sure that we send them out. It was only the girls who are our colleagues. We told them that the cashiers, they shouldn't touch anything there, but nobody too will stick a bet because you are owing us, you haven't paid us, and you are still expecting other customers to come and do what? To come and bet. Why if they win and you don't pay them too? So today we stop them from working.
Right, Joy News is learning of protests outside the Jumeirah Hotel in London, where President John Mahama is taking his Accounting to the People tour. Joy News' Gifty Ando Apia reports it's been a mixture of pro and anti-John Mahama demonstrations. She joins us via Skype right now to give us some details on the protests. Good evening to you, Gifty.
Good evening, Israel. It's been a very long time.
Yeah, it has been. I can see you're looking very good. So what is happening there? What sort of protests are taking place there?
Okay, so Israel, what I can say, there are two different things happening here. I'm putting the demonstrations in one category, and then I'm putting the president's message. He's actually delivering his message now as I speak. There's been so those are the two different things that are happening. Outside there's the demonstration, and inside he's addressing the people here. Of course, he's receiving some cheers, of course, from party sympathizers, if you'd like to call them that way. And so far I haven't heard any boos yet, but that's probably because at the beginning there was a warning that if you don't show decorum, or if you don't show some kind of respect, you might be taken out. So that's just something that you need to know. But in terms of what's happening outside, you see two groups of people holding placards, and there's one that's praising the president for the things that he has done, and there's one that's calling him fantastically corrupt. And if you recall, that's a phrase used by David Cameron, the Prime Minister of UK, a few days ago. Before the anti-corruption summit that happened here. Let me just run you by some of the things that are written on the placards of the people who are demonstrating. So for the pro-Mahama people, you have words like, world leaders recognize that you are against corruption, and thanks to you, 33 national service officials have been sacked. Even here in London, they don't have the modern e-blocks in our kids' school, and they're referring to the 123 schools that the president has started commissioning back in Ghana. For the anti-JDM protest, these are some of the things they've written. Mahama is fantastically corrupt, like I said earlier on, incompetent, which is a word that's trending in Ghana as well, and disappointment to the youth. That's how they've described him. So it's still ongoing. But in here, President Mahama has been addressing people, and of course, he's telling them things that are not so different from what he has told Ghanaians so far on his Accounting to the People tour, and you would expect that. He spent quite a lot of time on education, and I don't know if it's because there have been a lot of things done by the party in terms of education, or it's because they consider education as being a very important thing. And these are things that they've said over and over again in Ghana about the 123 schools, about the progressively free senior high school education. They also spoke about the conversion of polytechnics into universities, and about what they're doing about the university curricula itself. So these are things that he's already said if you follow his tour in Ghana. Whilst I was leaving the room, he was talking about the energy situation. He did not finish, so I don't know what he was going to ask. But hello?
Yes, Gifty. One other thing I want to find out: was there at any point in time some interaction between the president and the protesters, and was there any reaction at all from the president or his aides?
Israel, you would never get that. The security apparatus would never allow that to happen. So what's going to happen is that you will always have the protesters outside. So what you can analyze and say is that they knew that the NPP or whoever was not supporting them was going to start a demonstration, and so they planned a counter demonstration. That's the best explanation you could give to this. So you won't have them come face to face. What can happen is that those people who are outside demonstrating, after they have, shown their placards and taken some pictures, will then come into the room and be a part of the discussion, because they do know that there will be a time where they will be able to ask questions, and usually that's where they get to take the president on. But it also depends on whether or not these people will be able to get the chance, the platform to be able to put their questions through. It depends really on how they carry themselves around. Israel.
All right. Thank you very much, Gifty Ando-Appiah. Gifty Ando-Appiah is at the moment in London, but she was until she left to the UK to school, the presidential correspondent. You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break at this point. When we come back, we'll bring you business news. All right, it's time for business, and Emmanuel Awajuyafi has joined me. So there's been this, back and forth between management and the labor unions at Cocoa Board.
ICU and GAU.
And it's not ending, it turns out.
It's not ending. I mean, this evening, the management of Cocoa Board held a press conference saying that the seeming unrest between labor and management will not affect output levels of cocoa in any way, which is quite doubtful to me.
Right. As far as you think that it could impact?
It could. I mean, definitely. I think there should be some impact, on cocoa production and cocoa output levels. Already, we are yet to hit the 1 million tons of metric tons of cocoa a year. Currently, their target is 850. Now, you wouldn't say there's no impact when workers of Cocoa Board naturally have a relationship with farmers on the ground.
Well, I would say the workers are not the ones growing the cocoa. It's the farmers who are growing it. So long as the farmers keep on growing and earning whatever they can earn.
Just let's wait and see. I'm telling you, there's
let's wait and see.
Face-saving kind of hair.
All right. So just give us the business news.
All right. So thank you for joining me on business. And Cocoa Board has denied reports that seeming unrest between the labor unions and management is not affecting cocoa production. Reacting to concerns raised by the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union on reduction in output levels of cocoa at a press conference, Head of Public Affairs at Cocoa Board, Noah Amenya, says cocoa production cannot be linked to labor unrest, explaining that Cocoa Board is working hard towards meeting the 850,000 metric ton target for 2016.
Once we are doing what we call square peg in round holes, people who are not out there with it are being asked to go and do it. Obviously, what will be their returns? Okay, so we are asking, could we have a full-scale investigation to this sort of transfers that are taking place? People in marketing, people in research, people in what have you, all kinds of...
I must state that we are not producing cocoa in a factory. It takes 4 years for an established farm to peak. And therefore, what the unions are doing do not have any immediate effect on cocoa production. And we must also take note that 2013-14 was Ghana's second highest production, which happened during the era of Dr. Puni. And so we cannot say that during his era, cocoa production had come down. Last year, we had 740,000 metric tons of cocoa. But the question is, at what price did Cocoa Board sell that cocoa? And that is very paramount because we are in a market that uses speculations a lot. So depending on the production levels, the value or the income on cocoa could be higher than when you produce higher quantities. And what we produced last year was able to compensate for that shortfall. And so for us, we have not lost. The country has not lost anything. And this year, we are on course to achieving our target that we gave of 850,000 metric tons.
Meanwhile, leadership of the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, ICU, is insisting Chief Executive Officer of Cocoa Board, Dr. Stephen Opuni, must be removed from office. Workers on Thursday, clad in red garments and wielded placards, and gathered at the Labour Ministry to present a petition to the Employment and Labour Relations Minister, Haruna Idrisu. The General Secretary of the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, Solomon Koti, spoke with Joy Business.
Once we are doing what we call square peg in round holes, people who are not out there with it are being asked to go and do it. Obviously, what to be their returns. Okay, so we are asking, could we have a full-scale investigation to this sort of transfers that are taking place? People in marketing, people in research, people in what have you, all kinds of transfers are taking place. And they are not taking, if it will add on to give booster and increase production to the business, they will be happy. But what we are saying is in the negative. Our petition is just a reminder. We have already sent a document signed by the two national unions. We have complained about meetings that he has failed to attend physically in person. Because you know, if you even delegate people who don't have the mandate that you are supposed to have, they will come to the meeting and they will not be able to make any productive, arguments or discussions that will help the meeting. Example is that of the WAMCO one, okay, and therefore that is still hanging. The way forward is still undefined. And then to the industrial relations upheavals that in the industry, we've complained that also in our paper. First, letters that is not responding to. Two, failure to appear before ministers that are calling for meeting, and then three, again, this WAMCO matter that is also unresolved. We are saying that, Mr. President, these reminders have come to you over and over, and this could be the last one that, as two national unions, we will. If nothing is done concretely within the week that we are entering, then as two national unions, we will devolve another strategy to press down our challenge home.
Welcome back to Joy News Prime. Now we're going back to the story with Cocoa Board, and it turns out that wrangling at Ghana Cocoa Board is taking a different twist as the Supreme Chairman of the Supreme Consultative Council, Alhaji Idris Hassan, is blaming party functionaries for the recent internal wrangling. At a news conference on Friday, Alhaji Idris Hassan chastised the Labour Relations Minister, Haruna Idrisu, for not having jurisdiction at Cocoa Board, yet meddling in its affairs. The embattled chairman, who is accused by ICU and GAU of taking questionable contracts at Cocoa Board, says he will not sit idle for what he describes as unrealistic external aggressors to collapse the company.
The Industrial and Commercial Workers Union and General Agricultural Workers Union have in recent weeks been calling for the removal of the Chief Executive Officer of Cocoa Board, Dr. Stephen K. Opuni, from office. The agitated workers allege Dr. Stephen Opuni, among other things, has secretly been selling cocoa to neighboring countries, leading to the loss of millions of dollars to Ghana. But at a press conference on Friday, the embattled chairman denied the allegations leveled against the CEO.
Secret selling of cocoa. I'm not trying to talk about certain things that we should not be talking. Look, cocoa, do you carry it on your head to the airport or you send it to the ship? Look, it has to go through process. What they are saying, I am telling you that it was something that a staff reported to a lot of places for them to investigate. It was thrown off. It is not feasible for us to have secret selling of cocoa, for the monies that will be paid to come into whose account? The monies come to CMC. Look, Bank of Ghana, sorry. So how come that somebody is making such a statement in the press release? I won't do that.
He also blamed party functionaries who he described as unrealistic external aggressors for the wrangling with the ultimate aim of kicking Dr. Opuni out.
The Minister of Labour Relations coordinates things of this sort, minister to minister level. And I'm saying that the issue as at now is in court. So the essence of going, even me, going to that meeting will be an affront to the court. So that is why I'm saying that the minister should have, I know Haruna is a lawyer, my profession. So knowing that the case is in court, there is just no way, there's no need inviting the chief executive to that meeting. The General Secretary of ICU, today, Haruna Adrisi will call you. Tomorrow, Haruna Adrisi will call you. And then consequently, letters are emanating from his outfit. One can say that it can be seen as if he is part of what is happening. That's what I'm saying.
The embattled chairman, however, says he wouldn't allow the external aggressors to have their way.
Well, cocoa farmers at Puerto Ashanti in the whole West District of the Volta region are accusing government of collapsing their cocoa business for failing to fulfill its promise to provide them with the necessary farm inputs. The lack of the inputs, especially fertilizers, they say, has led to the spread of the black pot disease on their farms. Joy News' Fred Kwame Asare has been interacting with the farmers who say they are at their wit end.
Farming is the source of livelihood for residents of Puerto Ashanti, with most of them engaging in cocoa farming. Other cash crops such as coffee are also cultivated. However, the income derived from the cocoa farms have dwindled over the years, making living conditions unbearable. The farmers emphasized that government is responsible for the reduction in the income from their farms since it has failed to deliver on its promise of supplying requisite farm inputs, including fertilizer and pesticides. The alleged government's failure has led to widespread of black pot and some other diseases on their farms, negatively affecting yields. Another disturbing development the farmers disclosed to Joy News is the unavailability of a cocoa purchasing center in the community. Ben Ajaklo has dedicated all his time to his farm, but is unhappy with the minimal returns and is gradually giving up on the occupation. He explained the lack of the requisite farm inputs coupled with the lack of extension officers is killing their cocoa business.
Government promised to give us inputs for our cocoa farms, but we never saw any of the inputs. Because we lack the requisite inputs, our farms are infected with diseases which has affected our yields. We are pleading with government to fulfill its promise and supply us the farm inputs to save our farms. We send the cocoa seeds to a cocoa purchasing center at Dodome, which is far from our community. Cocoa farmers are quite plenty. There are many cocoa farmers in Puerto Ashanti, and it will do us a lot of good if government will provide us with a purchasing center.
Constantine Agbo is the assembly member for the area.
Puerto produces a number of items. In terms of cash crops, we have cocoa, we have coffee. But coffee producers are in a serious trouble now because Ghana government is not interested. Ghana government is not doing anything about buying coffee now. So people who base their livelihood on coffee are in trouble.
Fred Kwame Asare's report for Joy News.
Up next, we bring you international news.
All systems go now. We are good to go. Thank you for joining me on the Sport on Prime. I am Gary Al Smith, and we begin with the Ghana Premier League. According to Kujo Fiano, the CEO of Ash Gold, Bashir Hayforth's absence and request to get a 90-day leave has not been accepted. You will recall that Bashir has had a terrible season trying to defend the Premier League title that he won last year. However, everything has gone south for the whole season. The fans have not been happy, and he's been forced to ask for time off.
The league has not been granted. Ash Gold is not a one-man club that the coach can just decide. In the coach's contract, we have it that he can only take his leave during off-season. So it is not as easy as that to just accept. We haven't accepted his decision to go on leave or his request to go on leave. Yes, we are facing some challenges, but we must learn very good lessons from what is happening across the globe. Newcastle changed coach and went for a top-notch coach like Benitez, but I think they still have relegation staring them in the face. They've been relegated, so it is not an issue. It could be that the problem is, or the challenge is not that with the coach. I can also mention Chelsea. They changed coach thinking that they could make it to the top four. They could not make it. So we will not rush or play to the gallery by just saying that no, we must look at the challenges that we are facing holistically. And then when we get where the challenge is, then we can look for the cure. But I can tell you, without missing words, that Ashgo will bounce back.
And have you been following the National Women's League? Well, it's the 5th week in the series. We are expecting some great matches across the country. Joy Sports' Babatano gives us the preview.
The excitement will far from wane this weekend when the top teams in both the northern and southern sectors seek to keep up the momentum to solidify their lead on their respective tables. Hazakis ladies had the unbeaten run halted by soccer intellectuals last week after a 2-0 loss and will seek to get back on track when they host Halifax at the Esipon Stadium on Saturday. At the Tesana Police Depot here in Accra, police ladies will welcome Papakosi Indum's Bafana ladies, who have managed just 3 points out of a possible 12. Samaria ladies and immigration ladies will be looking for a tiebreaker when the two sides meet at the ATTC Park here in Accra, with both clubs tied on 4 points. The final fixture of the southern sector will be at the Robert Mensah Stadium in Cape Coast when Lady Strikers host Soccer Intellectuals on Sunday. We now move to the northern sector where Prisons ladies are in firm control of the summit after winning all of their 4 games so far. They take on 5th placed Fabulous Ladies at the Coronation Park in Sunyani. Northern ladies will welcome Ampim Dakunwa ladies to the Tamale Stadium Annex. Real Upper ladies will be seeking to move up the Northern Sector League log, where they currently lie 7th with 3 points. They take on Lepo ladies, who are 1 place above their hosts at the WA Stadium. And wrapping up the fixtures in the north for week 5 of the National Women's League will be Ashtown ladies and Subayo ladies at the Prempeh College Park in Kumasi on Sunday.
That's it for the bulletin. Thank you very much for watching. You can get on to my Joy Online and get to see a lot more of the stories that we have there. Thank you for making time with us. Good evening.